Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, morning.
1, 2, 3, 4. You. Let's do that with a actual.
Yeah.
Note.
Yeah.
I need a note.
Pick a note, any note.
1, 2, 3, 4. You who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself. Because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well.
We're starting this whole thing over again.
Rudy.
We rehearse.
Yeah, we rehearsed this and everything. Let's do that again. Rudy, drums backwards. Okay.
You know what's great about life? There are redos.
Yes.
1. 1, 2, 3, 4. You who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself. Because the past is just a goodbye. Teach
There we go.
your children well. Yeah, your father's hell. We did rehearse. It's slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they pick, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. That was a mulligan.
Good morning. How is everyone this morning? Awesome, awesome. It's a great morning. It's been quite a morning already since we've been here. It's been fun. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Jonathan Zenz. I am the spiritual director here. You know, I almost said I'm the center administrator because I said that at my previous center for 6 years at the beginning of every service. But it's great to be here, and it's great to have you here. I'm so glad you've joined us today. A couple of things I want to let you know about. First of all, we do have our holiday giving drive as part of an outreach program for our center. In the lobby, you will see that there is a construction paper tree, and the children are busy at work downstairs today making ornaments to put on that tree. Well, here's what you do. So the kids will make the ornaments. You go and you take the ornaments off the tree. On the ornament is going to be written something that you can donate to our cause. This year it's going to be the Red Door Family Shelter, and so we're collecting things for the Red Door Family Shelter now through December 2nd, and then we will take all of the stuff that we've collected to them. So that is what we are doing this holiday season in support of our outreach and our community. So take a look at the ornaments that are on the tree at the end of service. Also, this Tuesday is the last class of the Edinburgh Lectures of Thomas Troward, which apparently last week I was like, the Edinburgh Lectures of Thomas Troward, because it sounds like a boring class, but it's not really a boring class at all. But this is the last class, so if you want to join us for the last class, it's at 7 o'clock this Tuesday. Also, on Wednesday nights, we continue class Science of Mind 100, the 100 series, which is the foundations of Science of Mind. This is the basics, folks. It's the basics. How do you pray? What is prayer for? How do you pray effectively? How do you pray so that you can have things show up in your experience? That's what this class is all about, and that continues on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock right here at the center. We do have a board meeting coming up at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, November 27th. That's a week from this Tuesday. Also on Sunday, December 9th, we are going to be doing our next screening in our spiritual cinema series, a movie that I'm really excited about called The Way, starring Martin Sheen. And it's about the Camino del Santiago in Spain, which is a pilgrimage. And so if you're interested in that, I would encourage you all to show up, because this is a pilgrimage I want to do someday. So at some point when I take a sabbatical, that's probably what I'll do for 6 weeks, is take this pilgrimage. Comfy shoes. I'm a good walker, though. Like I'm definitely a walker. So, other things that are going on. We do have a Spiritual Mind treatment request box. If there's something that's weighing heavily on your heart, you can fill out a treatment form, put it into that box, and it will be handled by one of our brilliant practitioners here at the center. I also want to invite our practitioners to stand up and make themselves known, because you can, at the end of service, avail yourself of their treatment work, their prayer work. So if you've got something you want to talk to a practitioner about, you can speak with one of them and they can help you with that, definitely. Also, do follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I want to say hello to everybody who's online today, watching us live online, and those who will watch us later on when we put the archive up. It's great to have you all joining us, you know, from a distance. So, let's see. There we go. That's all the announcements that I'm wanting to give today. I mean, there are some other ones I guess I could say, like, if you're new, sign up for our mailing list, blah, blah, blah. But, welcome. It's so quiet. You're all sitting with such anticipation. What is he going to say next? Did I get any sleep? I did not get much sleep last night. Yeah, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night, and so... This is kind of the same effect, though, as me going to bed at 7 o'clock like last week. I'm on my second wind now, so I'm like bouncing off the walls. So, good luck. Anyway, we're here at the Center for Spiritual Living to do one thing. One thing, that's it. We're here to do one thing only. What is that? You have no idea why you're here on a Sunday. Not a clue. Because here, let me ask this. Are you here to listen to me?
No. Yes.
Are you here for the music?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's good. We're going to have to start doing more music. I guess I'll have to start talking less. No, we're here really on purpose and with purpose. We are here to celebrate we're here to celebrate spirit. Do you know what spirit is? What is spirit? I'm putting you all on the spot today. Spirit is us. Spirit is all there is. Spirit is energy. Spirit is this divine wisdom, this infinite intelligence that is infused throughout all of creation, throughout the entire universe. It is who and what we are. And that's what we celebrate here. I celebrate, I get so excited by that. And you all sit there. You're percolating inside. Okay. I can accept that. I can accept percolating inside. We celebrate in any number of ways. Now, we come here on a Sunday in a ritualized fashion to be reminded of this truth. That's really what I'm here to do, is to remind you of the truth of who you are, that there is no separation between you and God, because God is not some man sitting on a cloud. God is this energy. God is the divine energy of the universe. And so today, let's really, really get to know that energy on a more personal and individualized level. You with me?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's take a look at the cover, not the cover, but the first page of our songbook. And we're going to read the stuff that's in the really little writing today. We have new songbooks that are going to be coming soon that don't have such itty-bitty tiny writing. But let's share these words of Dr. Ernest Holmes together. And as you read this, really check in with yourself. Is this who you are? Is this what you stand for? And is this your experience? That's the question to have in mind as we read this together. So let's read this. I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. It is the spirit of all life, truth, and action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light. I radiate joy and life, for life is within me now. Life is within me now. Life is within you now. Life is all there is. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is your life and my life right here and right now. So I'm going to invite, you have a lovely quote for us today, I understand. It's a phenomenal quote. Ooh. That's what I'm hearing. That's what she's saying. I'm going to invite Mary Ellen Cassie up to the podium. She's going to offer a quote for us. This is our practitioner of the day, by the way. And I want to honor Emmy because this is the first time that she's been practitioner of the day since I've been here. She watches us every Sunday online, but she's...
Yes, and say why. I'm not here every week.
Oh, because she lives in Hamilton.
Yeah.
So she's got quite a drive.
Thank you. So the phenomenal quote is, as a reference from my dear friend Helen, faith is an invaluable and invincible magnet and attracts to itself whatever it fervently desires and calmly and persistently expects. This is from Ralph Waldo Trine.
That is a phenomenal quote.
It is lovely.
Yeah. So let's take this quote, let's take it into mind. Let's take a moment to contemplate what she has just read to you. If it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, you're welcome to do so. And I'm going to ask, as you go into this contemplative place, I'm going to ask her to read the quote again.
Faith is an invaluable and invincible magnet and attracts to itself whatever it fervently desires and calmly and persistently expects. Ralph Waldo Trine.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only
right here and right now, I know the truth. That there is a spirit here, right here in this house, right now. It is in me. It is in all of you. It is in us. And I embody this presence, this source and supply that I call God. And God is in me, and I am in God. And God is love and light and law. It is beauty and joy. It fills me. It fills my soul. And I stand firmly and responsive to this call, knowing that love is all there is. And I am so grateful in my acceptance and receiving this gift, the gift of wisdom, this gift of infinite intelligence. I believe it is everywhere, everywhere present, in the visible and in the invisible. And I am this magnetic force, deeply connected, feeling the divine urging me forward, never backwards. And I continuously evolve with every breath I take. And I release my word to the universe, to law, knowing it is done, and I get myself out of the way and I allow. I just allow. Knowing that I am a dynamic impulse of light and love, I release my word, and together we say, and so it is.
When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
Thank you, Mary Ellen. To further take us on this journey of inspiration, we have a reading today by Ken Liu. Yes, yes. And you know what? I'm changing stuff around. So if you want to put your paper on the podium, and then you can hold the microphone. That way it's not like this, you know?
Hey, this is kind of cool up here.
You think you like it?
Why don't you sit down?
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For many centuries, Zen Buddhism has used short stories to convey its teachings, and I've chosen one to share with you this morning. It's called A Cup of Tea. Nanin, a Japanese master, received a university professor who came to inquire about Zen. Nanin served tea. He poured his visitor's cup full and then kept on pouring. The professor watched the overflow until he no longer could restrain himself. It is overfull. No more will go in. Like this cup, Nanin said, you are full of your own opinions and speculations. how can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? In other words, if you have decided you already know, then how can you learn? Regardless of who you are and your experiences, you always need to empty yourself to be filled. Learning challenges our assumptions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You do not know how perfect that quote is for today. I'm telling ya. You know, there are no mistakes, because I don't approve what's read. I don't ask to see what is read by the people who do our readings. I just trust. I just trust. Yeah. So, I'm so moved by just the perfection of that quote. Thank you so much. So, relax. Just be present. Just be present. Recognize that everything is a done deal. Everything in every moment is brand new. Bring it on. Everything new. Everything different. Everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying. I'm through waiting. I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, everything new. Bring it on. Bring it on. Everything new. So this is a little bit of a reaction to my explosion last week, where I basically laid claim to what I now accept as the only truth of my life, which is to bring it on. Bring it all on. That there is no room for anything to feel small anymore in my life. Everything is new. Every moment is new. Every single moment. You are not the same person you were when you walked in here half an hour ago. Do you know that? Because energy is always shifting. If there is one thing we can count on, it's change. Everything changes. Everything is always, always moving forward and evolving itself into a greater expression of itself. Do you know, here's the big thing. Do you know that we are all exactly the same energy? Doesn't feel like it sometimes, though, does it? Sometimes it feels like we're separate and alone. It can make you feel sad. It can make you feel lonely. At any given moment, the cure for feeling lonely is to understand that you are part of a greater expression of the divine. And when you step into that understanding and you can really, truly embody that understanding, you are then overflowing with the divine, and it shines forth from you as a perfect light at the center of your beingness. This is who and what you are. We are all equal. There is no one that you will ever encounter who is not equal to you, perfectly equal in mind. If you believe that somebody is not equal to you, or if you look down upon them, or if you look up to them, and you think there's some inequality there, that is purely a construct of your own mind. We are all equal. We are all sharing in this journey of life together. So, today, were you intrigued perhaps by the Friday email, if you got the Friday email, and wondered what the heck is he going to talk about today? Chips Ahoy. Now, those of you who are in class know the reference. Chips Ahoy, and it will become very clear. It does have to do with chocolate chip cookies. And I remember when I was a child, I used to love Chips Ahoy. My father would get Chips Ahoy, and I would always have Chips Ahoy in my packed lunch that I would take to school. Loved Chips Ahoy. But before I get to the explanation of the chocolate chip cookie, let's start with this. An Ernest Holmes quote. We are thinking and active centers in universal mind. We are thinking and active centers in universal mind, and the sum total of all our thoughts is either silently attracting good to us or repelling it. One of the first things we must learn, now listen to this, one of the first things we must learn is that about 90% of our thinking is unconscious. About 90% of our thinking is unconscious. This has also been scientifically proven. There's 90% of your thinking that's going on at all times, 100% of the time, in your waking hours, in your sleeping hours. 90% of it you're totally unconscious of. What do you think it's doing to you? You want to know? You want to know what it's doing for you? Do you want to know how to really understand what your thinking, your unconscious thinking is doing for you? Look at your life. Because that's how it's unfolding. All the time, no matter what. It happens nonstop because that's the way the law of cause and effect works. We teach that we live in a cause and effect universe, and the law is always working. It never stops. It doesn't know anything other than to simply provide that which is happening in your mind. 100% of the time. Unending, infinite. And when I say infinite, I do mean infinite. We are here for a finite experience on this plane of action, but our beingness, our individual nature goes on beyond this. It is infinite. It is always, always expressing in some way. We just happen to be expressing it this way right here, right now. We are thinking in active centers in universal mind. It is an active process that is always, always going on. I looked this up. The UCLA Laboratory of Neuroimaging says that the average person has about 70,000 thoughts per day. 70,000 thoughts per day. If I had $1 for every thought that I had in a day, I would be $70,000 richer by the end of the day. So here's how this works. So we come to this philosophy and we are taught, change your thinking, change your life. How good are you, or how is it working for you to change those 70,000 thoughts in every moment? Because here's the other thing. Are you looking for an ultimate solution? Because I get this sometimes. People coming here and they're looking for the one answer, the one thing that's going to turn everything around for them, and their life is going to unfold perfectly, brilliantly. It's never going to stop. Oh, and now I can just relax into it, right? It never ends. It never ends. This idea of the one ultimate solution to change your life, it doesn't exist. Actually, it does exist. Change your thinking continuously and be on high watch at all times about what is going on in your mind. It's a lifelong pursuit. It is a lifelong pursuit. In fact, it's longer than life. It's an infinite pursuit because we have an infinite life. It is a lifelong, an infinitely lifelong pursuit. So the ultimate solution is you change your thinking, you stay on high watch, and everything will unfold perfectly and brilliantly and easily. Yes? Yes. Are you sure? What about those 90% of the thoughts that you are not aware of?
Don't get trained, don't follow.
Say that again?
I think when you train your conscious thoughts, I think the subconscious thoughts will follow.
When you train your thoughts, your subconscious thought will follow. Absolutely. Did you read my talk? That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Here's the deal. When we change our thinking, when we change our mind, when we change the belief, we're actually only changing a tendency in thought. Because here's the one thought that I'm trying to change, but here's the 90% of the other thoughts that have been supporting something else. What am I doing? Here's the other, yes. It's the other thoughts. Okay, so anyway. So here's the 10% of the thoughts that we're aware of. The 10%, right? And we're going to change our mind along that path. Well, what happens is when you change your line along that path, that 10%, a little bit more says, oh, wait, this is the new idea. This is the new belief. I better fall in line. And a little bit more, this is the new belief. I better fall in line. But here's what happens is people think, oh, I'm just going to change this one thought, and now everything's going to unfold perfectly. And then they still have looking for kids, because I'm going to say it. They still have shit that's showing up in their lives. And they're like, what, I changed the thought. But it's the 90%. It is a constant process that you must always be on top of. I'm sorry I had to, sometimes I feel passionate and I use my words passionately. If you're offended, what can I say? I'll do the warrior pose again for you and we'll come to an understanding. Deepak Chopra, I put this on my Facebook this week. Deepak Chopra wrote in on his website, on an online blog, he said, or wrote, science doesn't describe reality. Science doesn't describe reality. And then he puts in parentheses, even Stephen Hawking has attested to this. You all know who Stephen Hawking is, right? Yeah. Even Stephen Hawking has attested to this. What it does, and he writes, it describes phenomena that fit various theories. Science only describes phenomena that fits various theories. So here's what's going on. You have this narrow view. You have this 10% of thoughts that you're conscious of, and everything around you, you are trying to fit within that paradigm. You're trying to fit it all within this very narrow paradigm. What we work towards in this philosophy is to open that up. That's why we talk about being a philosophy that's open at the top, because we're always willing to be open to the infinite nature of the divine working through us at all times, so that we can experience this and not just this. I keep talking to them. So that we can experience this and not just this. And I'll tell everybody online, so we can experience this and not just this. Everything that we have in our experience, the wall, Helen, the podium, the chairs, the candles, the flame, the light, it's all an illusion that we've created in our minds. So here's where I go to the quantum mechanics of it. And I talk about this in class sometimes, and it blows people's minds. They're like, what? I don't really, okay, well, I'll just go with that. Here's the reason why it's all an illusion. Nothing exists except as the potential to exist in your own mind. That means none of this is real. It feels real, right? It is as real as you are observing it to be, because the only time things exist is when you observe them. That means we could all be sitting in this room. Each and every one of us are sitting in this room. What's happening on the other side of that door doesn't exist because we're not observing it. Get it? It's a pretty deep concept, huh? The entire experience of life is purely in mind. This is what I'm really trying to get to. Everything is purely in mind. This is why when we do our spiritual mind treatment work, when we do our prayer work, and I say this all the time, we are never praying to change the stuff, ever. Because we're only praying to change our mind. And here's what happens. When you change your mind, what you are observing has to shift and change to accommodate the new idea. See, I am trying to get more pragmatic about this entire approach. This is the very core of our teaching. Nothing exists except in mind. Nothing, because that's all there is. Mind is all there is. When I talk about there is a universal mind, and it's who and what we are, that's what I'm talking about. We are all thinking individual, unique expressions of that universal mind, and as such, what we are thinking is what shows up in our experience. Now, here's the other thing that maybe will blow your mind. I'm having a very specific experience that I can recognize, and I've constructed around my own perception and paradigm of a life that I am living that includes all of you. Do you think you're having a similar experience, or do you think your experience might be completely different? Because, say again? We're having a consensual experience, yes. But I think that your perception of it, here's what I believe. I believe your perception of it is vastly different from my perception of it. But what happens is my mind aligns so that my perception of it makes sense to me in life. And your perception of it makes sense to you in your experience of life. So I watched this TED Talk. Do you guys watch TED Talks? Love TED Talks. If you're unfamiliar with TED Talks, just go to TED.com and check it out. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of videos of forward-thinking people who basically get up and they talk about what's going on in the world, in the universe, in their experience. Anyway, this guy, you know what, I should have written down his name. I didn't. I feel bad now because I should give him credit for this. Scientist. I don't remember what kind of scientist, but he was talking about our perception, about how we perceive the world. And he did this experiment where he has these backlit panels. And in these backlit panels are all these little circles. And he has, in one side, he has yellow gel, and on the other side, he has purple gel. So that what happens is this. When you see it from your perspective, all you see are little yellow dots. and little purple dots. With light shining through, this is what you see. One side is yellow, one side is purple. He then, and it's a 16, no, 8, and how many are there? 12, 4, 8, foot, no. There are 24 dots on each panel. That's what it is, because it's, no, 36, because there's 6 and 6. It's a square. I can do this. I was actually really good at geometry. It just, I had to think about it, because I didn't write it down. So, 36 dots that are yellow, 36 dots that are purple. He then takes a purple gel, and he puts it just so that the inside has the yellow and the purple of the yellow side. And then he puts a yellow on the inside of the purple and the yellow. Now what happens is when you look at it, when you observe it, you see that there's on one side, yellow dots that are now surrounding a different color. It's kind of a grayish, brownish color, right? And then you see the other side, and it's the purple dots that are surrounding the same color. But here's what happens in your mind. Because of the surroundings, you see different colors on the inside, even though they're the exact same color. It is your perception that shapes your reality. You only see things in context of what's around it. And so everything can be mistaken if you are not seeing the whole picture. Here's what happens. You take away the dots and you see just the frames with the yellow light and the purple light. All of a sudden it all becomes very clear and it all looks correct. But with the blocking of the light, those two sides look very, very different. Everything depends on your circumstance. Everything that you experience and everything that you observe is only circumstantial. So that is why you can change it in your mind. And you must change it in your mind if you're not happy with it. Because when you first change it in mind, the circumstances must follow. Because that, again, is the way the law of cause and effect works. Change your thinking, change your life. You heard that before? That's the way it works. Now, we've gone even beyond this now, because it's not just about the active thinking. This is where we come into the 90%. Because what's happening is there's 90% of your thoughts that are actually simply acting as beliefs, as memories, as things that are in the collective consciousness of our entire world, and you are subject to them to the degree that you are unaware of them. They're simply showing up in your life. So, what does this have to do with chocolate chips? So in class on Wednesday night, I was drawing the teaching tool. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the teaching tool, I will actually show it to you. The teaching tool is a tool we use. It's just an image that we use to explain the creative process. And the teaching tool is basically the circle. Have you seen this? So there's a circle. It's split up into 3 sections, and we have all of these words in here. You don't need to worry about the words. But here's the basic idea of how the circle works. The top section of the circle is spirit. It is conscious mind. It is conscious mind. The middle part of the circle is subjective mind. It is the subconscious. Sometimes people refer to it as the unconscious. Someday I'll tell you why I have an objection to the term unconscious, because if consciousness is all there is nothing that cannot be unconscious, right? Anyway, but we have unconscious thoughts, even though I say we have subconscious thoughts. Thoughts we're unaware of. That's the middle of the circle. The bottom of the circle represents form. So the way we teach this is, you've seen that. So there's the circle, right? Top part, spirit, middle part, soul, subjective. The bottom part is form, it's body, it's the circumstances of our life. We say conscious mind thinks into the subjective mind, and the subjective mind creates the form. That is, the conscious mind thinks into the law of cause and effect. Cause, our conscious mind, thinks into the law of cause and effect, and what shows up in the bottom is effect. Now, it's just a tool to try and explain the process by which we do our thinking, and to also show how you can change it. The top part is the 10%. The middle part, 90%. So what's happening in the subconscious, the subjective, the area that you're not aware of, it's simply having things show up in form because you're not paying attention to them. You're not aware of them. So when I was teaching this the other night, and I have, I usually have a flip chart here, and I teach it, and I'm like, so you've got all of these thoughts, these beliefs, and I started doing all of these dots, right? So here are all of these beliefs. 90% of your thinking is beliefs that you're not even aware of, and I start putting all of these dots all over, and I said, and it looks like a chocolate chip. So you've got all of these chocolate chips that are your beliefs, that are your belief system that are happening in here, and as they are living in there, as they're experienced in there, they're showing up in form. So that's where the chocolate chips come in. Your beliefs are chocolate chips. 90% of your beliefs are chocolate chips. They're simply just showing up in form. Now, what we do is through this construct, through this illusion that we have created for ourselves, we agree with these beliefs, and I will call them core beliefs, because we don't challenge them. If we're unaware of them, we're not looking at them, and they're simply showing up. It's a core belief. So part of the process, and this is what I love about Mental Muscle. Mental Muscle, that program is all about getting to the core beliefs in your experience, and it is a structured way of really figuring out what the heck is going on in that 90% so that you can then begin to take that 90% and say, wait, I don't agree with that anymore. You use the top part of the circle to start changing what's going on in the middle part of the circle. You start using the top part of the circle to change what's going on in the middle part of the circle. I cannot wait till I have that. It is coming. It's here. It's not coming. It's here. It is here because it's done in mind first. Here's a good lesson. I trust and I know that the new expression of this center is already a done deal. I laid claim to it last week, and I'll tell you what, it's showing up in a big way. I'm not going to lay claim to knowing what it looks like, but it's showing up because it's already done in mind. That is the level of my faith and my belief in this shift that this center is undergoing. We're all experiencing it. So I have now taken my belief about the limitations of this center, which was part of the 90% of my thinking, and I've said no more. I've taken my conscious mind to the top part of the circle, and I've said, you know what? I claim a new idea. And now that's being injected into the subjective mind. And I am holding firm to that. I will not let anything allow me to drift off course of this new idea. Now, again, I am not saying it has to be a building on such and such street and it has to have these perfect dimensions. No, I'm saying the perfect idea is already done. And it shows up in support of our highest good as a community, and also the support of the highest good of the entire community of Toronto and Canada and the world and the universe. Because I will not be contained anymore. What's happening in my mind is I recognize that I have been living the belief. The power that I have is the understanding and the recognition that I am the believer. I am not the belief. And so if I choose to change my belief, which I can do, and so can you, every single one of us changes our belief when we lay claim to the change of belief. When you do that, it must show up. Because then the other Science of Mind lesson today is the law doesn't know anything else, it just knows to do. It does not, the law of cause and effect doesn't sit there and think and say, oh, you know, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take that, and I'll let those happen, but I'm not doing that. No. No, whatever you're putting into it, the law is saying, yes, I take that, and it shows up. I take that, it shows up. I take that, it shows up. To everything. That's happening to 100% of our thoughts. So this is what is meant by change your thinking, change your life. You have three choices in life. only 3. You may recognize this. Rudy, you may recognize this as something else I put on Facebook this week. Rudy razzed me this morning about Facebook. I think you think I'm on it too much. Is that right? No. I love Facebook.
Turn my monitor down.
In Troward this week, in our Troward class, he talked about 3 options you have in life. These are the only 3 choices you ever have to make. The only 3. I want you to really hear that. These are the only 3 choices you ever have to make. Take action, be acted upon, or remain neutral. Last week I laid claim. I took action. I laid claim to a new idea. I have taken action. What are you taking action on in your life right now? Are you laying claim to a deeper idea, a deeper understanding, a deeper embodiment of this truth? That's the action you can take at any given moment. If you don't take action, you have made a choice to be acted upon. Because that's the 90%. That's the chocolate chips. They will simply continue to show up in your experience no matter what. Unending. It never stops. That's being acted upon. If you remain neutral, it's actually the same thing. If you remain neutral, if you decide not to change your thinking, now you can actively allow yourself to be acted upon, and this is what we do when we have laid claim to a new idea. We have acted, and then it's become a new belief. Then we say, okay, now I will allow the new belief to act upon. But if you remain neutral, you better be prepared for what shows up. Because it's all going to show up, no matter what. More chocolate chips. Yes, I love chocolate chips. And all I'm talking about, I'm not saying get rid of the chocolate chips. I'm saying create new chocolate chips. Yeah. Because here's the other thing that happens, right? We live in a... Oh, see, I'm teaching class now. All right, I'm going to teach class. So this middle section of the circle is the subjective mind. But it is universal in its nature because there is nothing separate between God and man. We are all using this universal nature 100% of the time. So what happens is you put the chocolate chips into the subjective mind. At some point, the other chocolate chips are going to have to get moved out that are not supporting you. Where do they go? They go into the universal subjective, but as long as you decide that you are no longer going to agree with them in your life, they no longer have effect in your life. Got it? You sure? Okay, because I know I am teaching a lot today. Like, this is what we talk about in class, and we go even deeper in class too. But this is the capacity that you have at all times. How do you do that? How do you change your mind? That's a great way. First of all, recognize that it doesn't work for you anymore. I made a recognition last week. This space does not work for me anymore. That's not enough. What do you do then? You know what? Even before then, before you start looking for a new space, you have to understand and lay into mind a new understanding of the space that you'd like to have. I know, I can see it. I can visualize it, but that's my imagination. And also remember, your imagination is limited. Your imagination is limited. If you step into the intuition of allowing the divine to work through you at all times, no matter what, I step into a bigger idea. This is why I lay claim to a perfect center that supports all of our needs 100% of the time. I lay claim to this idea that this perfect center is a place that people can drop in any day of the week for spiritual nourishment. Not just on Sundays, not just in class at night. All the time. You can come to the center and just hang out. Have a cup of coffee. Read an enlightening book. Have a chat with a practitioner. Go to yoga class. Go to a meditation practice. Any number of things. And I am open to what that will be. I am open to it, no matter what. Because I'm allowing myself to be open to allow it to simply show up. Now, I'm specific in my idea, but I'm not telling the divine how to bring it to me. That would be getting into, it needs to look like such and such because that's the only thing that's going to make me happy. That's not right. I have used BS in here. Yes, I did do a talk called RSBS, right? Yes, so. No matter what, we have the capacity 100% of the time to change our minds. What are you going to do about it today? Are you going to act? Are you going to allow yourself to be acted upon? Or are you simply going to remain neutral? It's up to you. You don't have to do what I say. You have to understand that what you are saying to yourself, what you are believing yourself, what you are telling yourself, what you are thinking consciously and unconsciously yourself is what's showing up. If you don't like it, change it. That's really, people come here all the time because they don't like what's happening in their life. But again, they're oftentimes looking for the quick fix. It's about shifting your belief system that has been developed over a lifetime. Some people have more deeply ingrained beliefs in lack and limitation than other people. Are you one of those people? Somebody's got a hand up. Yes, Howard.
I would add to that, to confirm what you're saying, that some people would rather die than change their mind.
Yeah.
I am meeting with that right now with different people in my life who would rather die than change their mind.
Yep. Some people would rather die than change their minds. But they haven't made the connection. Once you understand, once you make the connection, oh, wait, what I'm thinking is what's showing up all the time. I think it, it shows up. I think it, it shows up. But what are these things that are showing up that I haven't been actively thinking about? Well, if I think it and it shows up, that must mean that there are things that are happening that I'm not aware of in my thought process that are showing up. There's the whole talk. It's all the chocolate chips. So, spiritual practice is the way you change. Spiritual practice. We teach specific methods of spiritual practice. We teach spiritual mind treatment. We teach meditation. Oh, I brought that paper up for you. Did I give it to you? Oh. There it is. I was getting my microphone and I left it in the sound booth. It's a sheet or it's a packet that has a bunch of different forms of spiritual practice. If you're interested, actually, you know what? I'm just going to post it on the website. If you're interested, go to csltoronto.com. It will be there as a download, as a PDF. Centering, meditation, spiritual mind treatment, visioning, silence. There are any number of ways to engage in spiritual practice. Affirmation. I love affirmation. Doesn't it feel good when you really lay claim to something affirmatively? We're going to do that today. This is why it's really important that you don't just come here on a Sunday. And this is why it is so important for me in my vision that we have a place where people can come at any time. Obviously, we'll have business hours. I'm not saying show up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but maybe that's in the vision at some point. We have a prayer. Do you know that the Centers for Spiritual Living has a prayer line? It's 24 hours a day. That if you ever need spiritual support, you can call. I'll have to find the number. You can call the World Ministry of Prayer and speak with a practitioner 24 hours a day. Yeah. It actually was part of the center, and then it disappeared for a while, but they're revamping it now. And they brought it back. So it is available to you. There are ways of getting support in your life. Don't be blind to them. Don't close your eyes to them because they're always there. But you know where it starts? It starts with you. It starts with you. So what are you going to lay claim to today? What are you going to lay claim to today? Today, I'm going to end today with some affirmations. You good with that? All right, because I want you to really understand that this is a way of shifting your consciousness right here and right now. Are you ready to shift your consciousness right here and right now? Yes? All right, repeat and affirm after me. Today I become an active thinker. I become an active thinker. I now release any thoughts that don't serve me. I now release any thoughts that don't serve me. I accept only the let me try that again. I accept only the constructive perfection of God. I accept only the constructive perfection of God. Every day I become more aware. Every day I become more aware. Every day I express more light. Every day I express more light. I am the believer. I am the believer, not the belief. Not the belief. And so it is. Namaste. Not quite the Southern Baptist that came out last week, but I can, if you really want, I could start bringing hellfire and damnation. No? Okay. So many of you had that growing up, eh? So, I'm going to ask one of the members of our stewardship committee to come up today. It's your day, Yes. To talk to you a little bit about our stewardship program. Our stewardship program is simply a program where you sign up and give a pledge to the center saying, this is what I'm committed to giving in the year 2013. We do this so that the Board of Trustees and me as the spiritual director can make financial planning that is, gosh, I'm usually much better at explaining this, so that we can effectively do some financial planning for the following year. So I'm going to invite Jim Kurzweil up to talk to you a little bit about what this center has meant to him and why he involves himself in the stewardship of this center. Jim.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I really am grateful to be standing here today to share a bit of my journey with CSL and how it has affected my life in the last 3 years. And this week was a very interesting experience for me, just reflecting on that journey and relating to where I was and where I am. And I will refer to some cheat sheets here. The clarity in my journey from reflecting this week really became quite evident, and it started with really understanding probably what the darkest day in my life has been to this point in time. And it's wonderful to see some faces I know here. That was July 28th, 2009, the day that it's really emotion of joy, trust me. The day I lost my daughter. The wonderful thing about that experience was my journey from that point in time on. And the memories of that wonderful child that have become my source of strength and love and inspiration. And as my journey would have it, I would run into people that would help me along the way. And for 6 months after that event, I was challenged with a place of grief and pain and darkness, and it truly wasn't a place where I wanted to stay. So my wonderful, entertaining naturopath suggested I check out this website. He wrote it down for me. I took it home. put it on my desk, and I was into that. And the next month I went back to see him again. Well, have you checked out that website? No, but I haven't thrown it out. So between Christmas and New Year's of 2009, I decided, well, maybe it's time to check it out. So I did. And in January of 2010, yeah, we're into a new year. I showed up at a Friday morning at in Ancaster, Ontario, to this thing called the Hoffman Processor Boot Camp, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But it was my introduction to Helen. It was my introduction to a lot of wonderful people, and it was probably the first step of me taking an active role in changing my life. I was connected with my spirit for the first time in my life, and was really challenged to remove that box that I had created around me to be my protection mechanism in the closed system that I had created for my survival, and allowed me to have just a little hint of openness to see what might be out there. Well, I got through that and come out of there and thought the whole world was something wrong with it after I'd finished that. And my drive home from Hamilton that day was the strangest drive I'd ever had, and it was quite something. It was recommended that we stop somewhere before we got back into our own environment, just to kind of reintegrate ourselves into society. So I'm on freeways, 400s all the way home, and there's no really place to pull over to reintegrate into society. And so I'm getting closer, and I'm getting closer, and I said, well, I really should do this. I mean, they're recommending this. So I pulls off the 400 highway and cruise across Highway 9 into this little village called Schaumburg. And there's a nice little tea shop that's set up in what used to be a farm co-op store. I walk in there and I said, this will be a perfect place. I kind of feels friendly. The first person I run into is my neighbor. So the test is, what do we talk about? It's not a neighbor I talk to often. So we had a wonderful discussion about the blue moon that happened at New Year's. I mean, what was more appropriate? Once in a time. So anyway, as you know how Helen can stem your curiosity to explore, she introduced me to this place. And early in 2010, I showed up here, drove in an hour from north of Toronto, this little village called Bondhead, and passed by our little local United Church that I spent all my days in Sunday school, and never been to this part of Toronto, Queen Street East, but I found my way in here, and very interesting space this we occupy here, without a doubt. So I sat down and said, Helen can't really lead me all that far astray, can she? And you know, I sat there, and the first thing that really warmed me that day was a group called Absolute Groove. And to which there's still 2 wonderful members and many more, and the Absolute Groove has evolved into the band, which is the bigger and better than it ever has been. And the music today just, again, put me in a place where I could be here and enjoy. So I'm not sure where I am in my notes, but yeah. But CSL has really supported me in my personal and spiritual journey over the last 2.5 years, and it's created an environment where my darkness could actually meet the light and become something that is mentioned in the song this morning, love, something that is just there, something that this place just offers. And you know, my journey of healing really has become my gift to myself and to my family. And I don't think I would trade it for any other experience in the world. You know, I'm grateful for the things that this place has exposed me to. This guy here. Say no more. My family being able to join me here was their schedules permit. Some of you have had the opportunity to meet some of my daughters. They've all been here and they all enjoy coming here, and someday it may lead them to some part of their life that they'll enjoy being at. My ability to laugh at myself or with myself has come back, and it's sort of through this teaching when I really realize the stupidity that I actually create my experiences. I mean, that's got to be the most humorous thing in the world, right? The courses here have been really a teaching for me, and allowed me to continue on to become a more open system, to know what I don't know and get ready to learn what I can. The first course I was in here with Rev B, who was another energetic soul that shared this stage at one time. I think it was in SOM maybe 104, and the first reading that came up from Science of Mind in that course was on immortality. I mean, how perfect is that? And, you know, I've learned about spiritual mind treatment, and though it was hard to really see how it was going to change my life at those early stages, that's becoming more evident the more I practice. And, you know, I was touched on guided meditation when I was at the Hoffman process, but being here, I mean, one of the courses we had even had a book on meditation, and I still have it, and I lend it to people, and it's become a part of my life where, as Jonathan says today, you can become silent, and the course of the magic of the soul, to look for the gifts when things don't appear so great, and in the course on what the mystics knew, and, you know, to be that open system for divine guidance and become as a channel for healing and grace and service. And to quote Ernest Holmes, as E.M. calls Ernie, healing is not creating a perfect idea or a perfect body. It is revealing an idea that is already perfect. That's starting to speak to me more and more, and it's funny that it would show up in this month's reading of Science of Mind magazine, which Jonathan talked about affirmations. I mean, that's one of the most comical medias that I have. I mean, I read it every morning, and it's just my wonderful way of starting the day. I'm grateful to be able to relate to my oneness to God and the law, and I never expected there'd actually be a time where I would even understand that rather than say it. Excuse me. It's just going to be a one Kleenex. The other thing that I really, between those two stages, what I would call important steps in my journey of healing, which are the Hoffman process and CSL. I've been able to, and being a farmer of background, we all have a toolbox, and we're accused of being a jack of many trades and masters of none. So having tools has been something that has kept my livelihood alive, but having the tools that the Hoffman process and CSL has created for me has created a toolbox without weight that I can carry around with me. And just being able to open that toolbox and leave it open and not worry about whether it's open or closed, and it's just there in us, with us in the universe, is such a great asset. And Jonathan, your vision last week, I'm not sure whether it was the one about becoming the Baptist minister, the Southern minister, or the one about the new center. They were both very exciting, but the vision that you had, I mean, I really shared it. I felt it. I could see it. I could expand on it. I'm with you all the way to the end of it. It'll be fun. And this stewardship program that you have launched gives each and every one of us an opportunity to help manifest that vision through the growth of this community. And I'm so thankful to be part of this community. And I believe my journey is at a place that I need less seeking now and just more being. And being that my knowledge is that I am that I am. And I am excited about my future and being part of CSL and its future. And Jonathan, today I'd just like to thank you for being our teacher and our director. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for just being as well. Thank you.
So you've really touched something for me, Jim. Thank you. The capacity that this center has to change people's lives is infinite. We're at one point at which that can happen. There are different modalities towards changing your mind. Here's what I say: you must find what works for you, for your highest good. I encourage you to support the stewardship program by just making a commitment. We're not saying you don't have to be part of the pre-authorization program. You can just say, I'm giving X amount in 2013. And we can then take that and we can structure ourselves accordingly. So even if you are part of the pre-auth program, please take a look at the packet which is in the lobby. Just take a look at it. Read what it has to say. Read with a letter from the stewardship committee. Read the letter from me, you know, because I wrote it. So I would like you to read it. Even with a boot, yes. We are asking that all the forms be returned by December 2nd because I need to then prepare a budget that can get approved by the board for the next fiscal year, which starts January 1. I am so grateful to each and every one of you, and I'm so grateful to what you represent and what you bring to this center. And in that understanding, I do ask that you just take a look at it, and let's also then, in this moment, go to our affirmative giving. I'm feeling very emotional now. How can you not? Yes.
One thing I forgot. 2 years ago, I was at a Me to We event at the Air Canada Centre, packed with 20,000 energetic people with wonderful guest speakers and entertainment. And when I was leaving, there was a little T-shirt shop there that you could purchase something to support Free the Children. So I was drawn to this shirt, and so I bought it, and I haven't worn it until this day because it never had a purpose. So the shirt is...
Be the change. Right on.
Thank you. So in honor of the flow, in honor of the greater circulation of life that we're all experiencing, I encourage you to take whatever it is you have to offer today. Cash, check, credit card, debit, whatever, however you choose to give, your popsicle stick, however you choose to give, take it, hold it in your hand right in this moment. recognize that it is simply a tool. It is simply an energetic tool that we use within this experience of life. And that this tool goes forward to create a better experience within this center and beyond this center's walls into the greater community. I am so grateful for all it is that you give to this center, and I am so grateful to share this experience with you, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. So let's sing together. As the baskets are going around, I encourage you to stand up and celebrate and sing and dance. We're going to sing I Love today, right?
Yes.
Yes, which is it's clipped to the cover of your songbook. Mary Ellen to come up and do a blessing over the offering.
I live and I breathe and I love. And I graciously, with an open heart, receive these contributions. The gift of our willingness for expansion and growth. It's in each and every one of us, right here and right now. And it's truly being blessed in this law of circulation that as I generously give, I am open to receive so much more. And it's in these offerings that it will be used constructively. God is only constructively working in and through each and every one of us. And it's in this blessing that I accept the generous gifts of volunteers that are here at our center, generously giving of their time and their talent and their treasure. And I so appreciate in the givingness and the letting go, knowing that all is well right here, right now. I release these into the law, knowing it is done. And together we all say, and so it is.
Thank you so much. So I do want to start off by offering my sincerest gratitude to Mary Ellen today for your practitioner duties. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone who helped out with the service today, setting up today, Christina and Susan, our greeters, Judy and Tony. Reading, so brilliant. Thank you, Ken. Margaret Ann and Marg are in the bookstore today. Mary Ellen, our practitioner, because it's there. See, it's on my list at that point. Jim and Tony, who are our board members. I want to thank Jim for that very heartfelt expression. You know, it just goes to a deeper understanding that we can all recognize the light even in the gravest of circumstances. And that what we really can come to is that the light is within and that we shine that light upon the world. So I'm so grateful to Jim for sharing his portion of his journey and why he supports this center. I want to thank Carrie in the sound booth. Down with the kids, Mark and Margaret Ann. We're down with the kids today. I believe they're bringing up more Christmas ornaments to put on the tree, so please make sure you take some ornaments off the tree. I want to thank Linda for making sure we head out to the entire universe by means of the internet on our webcast. I want to thank everybody who's watching online. I want to thank the entire band. And I want to thank all of you for being here today and for joining in this understanding that we are one. We are one people. So let's take this, what we've heard today. Oh, this is the perfect song. Jim is downstairs. Oh. Can you go get Jim? Sorry. And the kids, because they need to, I mean, yeah. Yeah, so just start noodling. Start to noodle. Yeah, this song could not be more perfect for a deeper understanding of what Jim was talking about today. And it goes in line with the deeper understanding that we all have the capacity, no matter what, to change our mind. And when we change our thinking, we get rid of those chocolate chips. We bring in new chocolate chips so that our life, without stress or strain, will start to unfold easily and effortlessly all the time, no matter what. That's what we're working towards. And so, I invite you to close your eyes and relax into this moment. You have to hear this song. Simply relax into this moment, recognizing that you are the point at which light is shining forth. There is a light that guides you through the storms. There is a place of healing and calm. There is a peace that lives beneath the waves, beneath the sorrow and the joy. There is a stillness and grace. Your tears like rain are falling from the skies. It is God's love that's pouring from your eyes. The wounds of life, they bring healing, my friend. The heart that breaks is but opening again. The heart that breaks is but opening again. And so it's right here in this moment that I recognize and know in a more deeply rooted way that there is only one power. There is only one infinite intelligence. There's only one creative source. There is only love. There is only light. There is only peace. Each and every one of us is a perfect expression of this divinity, uniquely expressing as life, as love, as peace. Each and every one of us has the capacity, and I claim this capacity, more readily available, more flowing, more expressive in each of our lives, to create the lives we were meant to live, lives of joy, lives of love and peace, always unfolding, revealing more and more of the divinity within, letting it shine forth, allowing, and simply being. We are the change. And so today I claim that we be the change. It is in this understanding that I am so truly grateful for this teaching. I am so truly grateful for this community. I am so truly, truly grateful for what it is that we all share. And in gratitude, I simply let this be. I release this word to a perfectly corresponding law. I know it is complete. I know it is done. And I simply allow it to unfold in my experience. And I trust that it unfolds perfectly, easily, gracefully in everyone's experience. I simply let it be so, as together we say, and so it is. There is a light that guides you through the storms. There is a peace that lives beneath the waves. There is a place of healing and calm beneath the sorrow and the joy. There is a stillness and grace. Your tears like rain are falling from the skies. It is God's love that's pouring from your eyes. The wounds of life, they bring healing, my friend. That breaks is but opening again. The heart that breaks is but opening again. There is a light. A light. There is a light. And so it is. I encourage you all now to take what you've learned today, take it affirmatively and constructively into the world. And let's celebrate this with our final song today, which is Lean On Me.
Number 30.
Number 30. Sing along, sing along.
To lean understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call me, call me, call me, call me.
Have a great week, everyone. Namaste.
Look, God is my source. God is my source. 1, 2, 3.